In the NFL, former Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup had a visit today with the Baltimore Ravens. This, according to ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter, no deal is imminent. Speaking of which, the Texans made a couple of moves today as they re-signed defensive end Derek Barnett, kick returner Steven Sims, and added former 2020 top 10 cornerback C.J. Henderson today. We're live out at Twin Peaks DeZavala.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll leave story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or if you're watching live via our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show. Appreciate everybody for rolling through today. I am James Pleasure. You can follow me on Twitter at I am Pleasure. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. It is tournament time, and they have, if you notice on YouTube, they've let me out of the box. That's right. I am out at the Twin Peaks DeZavala location right now for our tournament mayhem. As we are out and about, already a bunch of great listeners have kind of come through, said what's up. We got a guy behind us right here that's feeling pretty good right now. He's got a big win earlier today with that Ducks upset. And we've had quite the start to the tournament. I don't know whose brackets are done, whose are in shambles. Mine's not in shambles. Did pretty good. Had Oregon with the upset today. Had Dayton advancing. Of course, you've had the upset a little bit earlier this afternoon. That's the one that hurt me because I lost an Elite 8 team. And I will always tell you when I'm wrong. I had BYU going pretty deep in this tournament. I liked what BYU had done through most of the year. BYU ends up falling earlier today to Duquesne. So it is what it is. This is tournament time. This is where the people get to really go and have fun. After the Duquesne win, I think it already dropped from like 18 million to 3 million perfect brackets still intact at that point in time. So the odds of you having a perfect bracket, this ain't probably the year for you either. Just like it's not for me, just like it wasn't for Jason Minix. But it is what it is, and it's a ton of fun to sit and watch all the tournament action at a place like Twin Peaks. And we are at Twin Peaks DeZavala right now. You can come out and join us. The beers are at 28 degrees right now as I look around the corner right here. Tons of room still here, so come on in, get set up. This is the perfect venue to do it because along with the scenic views, you also have TVs every single way you turn. You got the cold beers, you got the craft cocktails. It's a great place for a day like today when there are so many games going all at once to just be able to hang out and kind of take it all in. And right now, as you can tell, I am wearing my Longhorn gear. If you're watching on YouTube, right now, the Horns in action. Just tipped off. They trail Colorado State currently 8-6. 12:15 left in the first half of that game. And tomorrow, we've got the Aggies playing. That game you can catch over on San Antonio Sports Star or San Antonio's ESPN 1250. That'll be a 5:30 start over there for that broadcast for the Texas A&M Aggies and the other Texas school. After Texas plays or while it's finishing up, Texas Tech. You got them in action tonight. So it's going to be a very, very good opening round to the tournament. Like I said, Texas right now trailing 8-7. Texas Tech to follow, 8:40 start time for that one. And, of course, you got some of the Blue Bloods going later. like Kentucky, Gonzaga, and yes, I consider Gonzaga blue blood. They have been in the tournament for most of my teenage to adult life, and they went from Cinderella to perennial contender. So yes, Gonzaga is considered a blue blood in my mind because when I think basketball, I think about Gonzaga. Some of the earlier scores from this afternoon, as we just kind of give you a quick rundown of what's going on through the day. North Carolina waltzes in to the round of 32 as they crushed Wagner 90-62. Arizona, after having Long Beach State play fairly close for most of that game, they end up pulling away in the second half, 85-65. Creighton, same thing with Akron. They get a 77-60. Illinois beats Morehead State. As I said earlier, Duquesne beats BYU 71-67. Oregon with the upset over South Carolina. Dayton with a 3-point win over Nevada. And, of course, it's March, so that means it's Tom Izzo time as Michigan State beat Mississippi State 51-69. And it's like clockwork, man. Tom Izzo is magic in the month of March. He's got Sissoko doing his dirty work, and then Tyson Walker and Jaden Atkins carry the team offensively through that first round, past Mississippi State, and into the round of 32. Like I said, my one hiccup today so far, BYU. I had an Elite Eight team go down today, but that's not a big deal. I've still got all my Final Four teams intact. And I don't have Texas going any further than next game. So I've got them winning today against Colorado State, but eventually falling in the next round of the tournament. And I'm okay with that because I've watched Texas play enough this year. They are too inconsistent for March, at least to this point. And I don't know if it's a Rodney Terry issue or if it's something greater because the bulk of this team is back. You've got Dylan Dessou back. You've got Max Abrams back. You've got Tyrese Hunter back. You've got Brock Cunningham back for what feels like his 15th straight year. But for some reason, this team just didn't feel like it could ever consistently put it together throughout the season. They would have great one-offs or a great 3-4 game stretch. But to get through the tournament, you've got to be fairly consistent. And with the way the styles change from game to game, from opponent to opponent in the NCAA tournament, I don't think Texas is prepared for that. So, while I'm cheering for them and I hope they go far, I'm not expecting a whole lot. Speaking of people who aren't expecting a whole lot, RJ Choa is a man who does not expect very much of the Dallas Cowboys right now, as I don't know if Cowboy fans have finally had it, and you can tell me, 210-656-3776. That's 656 ESPN if you want to call into the show. But I'm going to talk with RJ Ochoa next, as the Cowboys offseason has been a complete disappointment to fans. And it's so much worse this offseason than in previous seasons. And I want to know exactly why. So we will talk to the co-host of the Morning Huddle and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa, when we come back right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Somebody's knocking the door. I walk over, and there's Toby Keith. I'm like, hey, Toby Keith. He's like, hey, is Rick James in here? I'm like, yeah. He does like to smoke the weed.
Yes, he does.
Yes. We are having some celebrities, Rick James and Dan Haggerty and
Grizzly Adams?
Grizzly Adams.
Wow. Hello, Grizzly Adams.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So, check today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest price, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single-barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest price, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single-barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks today and tomorrow. Join us for a full-court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Today, we're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at DeZavala. And then tomorrow, we'll be doing it again live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks Live Oak.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. Or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
If you've been thinking about buying a new car or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV,
think Ancira.com. Browse through thousands of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and RVs. Shop for your next new Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford, Buick, or GMC. Or if you're looking for an import, we have a huge selection of Kias, VWs, and Nissans. Or for your home away from home, a full line of RVs and campers. And you'll always get the lowest Ancira price, in-store or online at Ancira.com.
Heard the catchphrase that's sweeping the nation?
Jackson Hugh, yeah.
People are saying Jackson Hugh, yeah, to Jackson Hewitt because they love saving money on tax prep. Do you love saving money? Then switch to Jackson Hewitt today and pay less than last year. Thousands of people have already made the switch. Why haven't you? Stop waiting and start filing. You won't get a better deal or a better catchphrase. All together now.
Jackson Hugh, yeah!
Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Febreze. Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Howdy, Andrew Monaco. Don't forget, the Aggies play tomorrow on San Antonio's ESPN 5:30. I'm James Pledger. You're locked into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube at SA Sports Star. Be sure, like, subscribe, pay the like tax as our guest, RJ Ochoa from the Morning Huddle, who joins us now via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades guest line provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. And RJ, I listen to y'all every morning, and this off season feels like a breaking point for you when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it sucks. I've been thinking about this, and
it's the same, isn't it?
No, I mean, I don't say this lightly. I think I like football less than I used to, and I think that's been kind of happening over the course of the last 2 months or so, and it's really difficult to compartmentalize everything that has and really hasn't happened. And I think what finally justified the thought process in my mind was hearing Mother Football herself on the Blitz kind of panicked. You know, it's one of those, like, you know, if the leader in the room isn't panicked, we're all okay. Like, you know, their hands aren't shaking. But the fact that Shireen is a little perturbed by all this suggests that maybe this is the Titanic. Maybe we are just rearranging the deck chairs.
You're rearranging the deck chairs, and a lot of this feels based in their confidence and their ability to be able to draft over the last several years. But you yourself went over this morning. There are some big hits over the last couple of years with Tyler Smith and Micah Parsons. But outside of those massive home runs, there's not a lot of depth to their drafts over the last few years.
Yeah, the Cowboys love to brag about their prowess in the draft. And they have a track record that kind of looks great on paper. Now, nobody hits 100%, which is also why this is a foolhardy methodology. I know you love the NFL draft, but so if we look at the last 3 years, which is a solid sample size in my mind, and granted it's too early to make a full decision on anybody because I think you have to wait for the life of their rookie contracts. But in 2021, Micah Parsons was awesome. Although, and I've said this for years now, the evaluation on Micah was poor. The evaluation was that they were drafting an off-ball linebacker, not the best pass rusher in the NFL. They just kind of fell into that. So it's hard to give them credit for that. Kelvin Joseph, they took in the second round, complete and total miss. They had 3 third-round picks that year. Osa Digizua has been fine. Nashawn Wright was awful, has been awful. Chauncey Golston has been okay at the very least. And then 2 years ago, Tyler Smith, I will give them their props. They stuck to him, and everybody made fun of him and them, and they were completely and totally right. But they took a chance on Sam Williams. Nobody trusts him. They took a chance on Jalen Tolbert. Nobody trusts him. Last year, their draft has been an utter disaster. And yes, they stumble into these weird fifth-round picks along the way, like Deron Bland, that make everything look better on paper. But the idea that they're this really great and solid drafting team to the point that they should be able to rely on that and ignore free agency is false in my mind.
Is the way they're approaching free agencies solely or partly to blame on their reliance on getting compensatory picks in exchange?
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted this about a week and a half ago, but one of the worst days in Dallas Cowboys franchise history was the day that somebody sat Stephen Jones down and taught him what compensatory picks are. And it doesn't help that Dak Prescott was a compensatory pick, although they don't even value him enough to compensate him properly, which is ironic in and of itself. So, but there's a cap on there's a limit on compensatory picks. And so I understand not being willing to jeopardize the compensatory formula, but at what cost? Like at a certain point, you just have to realize that you can't be waiting forever. You can't just hold on to these hypothetical 5th round draft picks as if they're worth their weight in gold, because they're not. I mean, I think that the Eagles are a great example of this. They could have netted a great compensatory pick for DeAndre Swift. He got that big deal from the Chicago Bears, and if they hadn't done anything in free agency themselves, they probably would have, I don't know, maybe had a 4th round pick next year, but they did, and they contaminated that. But they don't care, because you know what is quicker, or what happens faster than a compensatory pick a year from now? A free agent that you can go out and sign. And so it's exhausting because of the all-in of it all, but the idea that they're going to win out because they have, 3 5th round compensatory picks coming next year is really, really, really stupid.
Is this more based on their inability to be able to compete in the deep end of free agency the way the Texans did when they cleared the deck with their cap space after all that trouble, or the Eagles seem to be able to right now, that they rely too much on these draft picks just because they invest so heavily in the players that they do draft?
I think that it's a combination of things. I think for a long time they were able to get away with players flocking to them and players calling them and potentially taking less to join them. In fact, ESPN reported that Eric Kendricks did take less to join the Cowboys than the 49ers offer. Now, you can argue that some of that may have been related to state income tax or whatever the case may be. Obviously, California is pretty far up there. But, I mean, this isn't those times anymore. I mean, this isn't, everybody has deep pockets. People don't need you to elevate their brand. I mean, you mentioned the Texans. The Texans are becoming a really powerful brand in and of them. CJ Stroud is one of the most marketable faces in the NFL. And yes, he plays for a lower market NFL team. But the reality is that if you play for any NFL team, you could be a superstar, because the NFL, the NFL is the stage that the Dallas Cowboys think that they are individually. And yes, the Cowboys offer a little bit more and a little bit extra, but you can look at Trevor Lawrence. I mean, like, you can be anybody anywhere and be a house. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are the most household name in the NFL, and they are a complete and total mid-market relative to the size of most NFL markets. And so they're stuck on that ideology and that philosophy, and it's really holding them back in a lot of senses.
Now, is there anything that they could potentially do this offseason that could restore the faith that has been lost amongst the fans in terms of the ability to, I don't know, say maybe trade a late round pick for a Dameon Pierce, or sign a J.K. Dobbins to help solidify a running back room that is still shaky, with Rico Dowdle being your leading returning rusher, or any move in that sense that could help kind of take Cowboy fans off that ledge that seems like the majority of them seem to be standing on right now?
I don't want to be, you're about all this, but it really is difficult to conceive of anything they can do at this point. And it was really difficult to conceive of anything even before free agency started. So now that you've, bypassed the opportunity to bring in the big, flashy, sexy names, I mean, it just doesn't exist. And even if, maybe if this had been a year ago, maybe they draft Bijan Robinson and there's that infusion, but there just isn't that guy there. There's just not that name to where you're feeling like, okay, this is it. And so people will ultimately, believe or not believe. I think people will come around, and as football season gets here, we'll all be starved enough to where we'll enjoy it. And I think that people will go through their normal processes and their normal rituals. But I do think that people have developed a callous towards this team and towards expectations with this team. And so now it's something they do. It's part of their life. It's part of their family, however they experience the Cowboys, wherever they watch the games or whatever the case may be. But I do think that they have disconnected themselves from any legitimate reality of them competing, at the very least for this year, because based on literally everything that's happened, it's hard to really believe in them unless you are the most homer of all homers.
Before I get to Dak, the fact that I don't think a sexy name is what they need in terms of what they've lost, right? Where they've lost, they're not positions that attract sexy names: linebacker, defensive tackle, guard, center, tackle. Like, these aren't names that you can really go out and provide that punch that getting, last year Odell Beckham was a name that was thrown around a lot. Bringing in a top flight running back like a Saquon Barkley to kind of be a magic eraser. I think their needs are so deep and in positions of I don't want to say irrelevance, but to the common fan, don't hold enough weight in terms of sexiness that it's kind of a proposition of, do you spend that money in free agency to try and get a name that's not really going to do that much in terms of where your positional need is?
I mean, I think it all comes down to priorities, right? Like, who cares if it's a sexy name? Can they help your team? I mean, can they help you win? Excuse me. And if you look, the NFLPA does a great job of tracking cash spending. And I don't know what's going on with me, but the Cowboys are among
they've just got you choked up.
The Cowboys are among the lowest spending teams in the NFL over the last few years. So this isn't a matter of like, I get your thought process, but like, it's not even that deep. It's not even a matter of like, oh, we don't need sexy names or whatever. Like, that's a really shallow thought. Not that you're, a shallow person, but but that is at least some thought. It is legitimately a matter of, we're good. We don't need to do this. We'll be fine. It'll figure itself out. And the audacity of it all. I mean, I'm sure you have, I know I have at one point in time done something in my life despite the disapproval or the advice of everyone around me, everyone cautioning me, or everyone telling me, I think you should do this instead, and thinking like, no, I know better. I can definitely do this. And I was wrong and I paid a price for it. And that's them. Like, again, it isn't just one person or one team. Every single person, for the most part, believes that what they're doing is not fundamentally sound. And here they sit and they're doing it. And it's impossible to rationalize. It's just they're this bad at this.
I get it, because as a Texans fan, like, yeah, they got the big name in Danielle Hunter. They also got some other names like Danico Autry, Mario Edwards. Today they picked up C.J. Henderson, Jeff Okudah, both former top 10 cornerback picks in the 2020 draft of Okudah and Henderson. Like, they still warrant a response of they're doing something to address an issue after losing Steven Nelson and other players in the secondary, Tavier Thomas. They're moving bodies into these positions, and it doesn't seem like the Cowboys are doing that at all.
No, and I mean, there's no reason that they have to be doing things this way. And I thought Shireen had a great point. It isn't a matter anymore of, okay, well, who's gonna fill these legitimate positions? We're down to the question of who's just gonna be like the bottom end of your roster. I mean, you're gonna have trouble filling all of these holes just from a quantitative standpoint. And they're not only placing this incredible amount of pressure on their upcoming draft class, but on last year's draft class. I mean, they're putting, last year's rookies in a position where they're going to have to be serious contributors. In a perfect world, that would make sense. In a perfect world, you would be able to let Jonathan Hankins go in free agency because Mozzie Smith showed you something. In a perfect world, Luke Schoonmaker would be a legitimate part of your offense or whatever. But those things aren't real. You're betting on all of these unknown commodities, and it is possible that they all hit. But the overwhelming likelihood of this, or unlikelihood of everything working out the exact way that you want it to, despite the fact that they're also fighting a lot of history. I mean, no team is repeated in the division in 20 years now. They obviously haven't done anything serious in almost 30 years now. I mean, this isn't peeing into the wind. This is peeing into like a jet engine. I mean, and they're like, oh, we'll be totally fine. Like, nothing bad will happen here. And everyone's like, are you sure about this? Because it's like 100 miles an hour. And they're like, no, we've got this, trust. And I mean, it's not going to end well, I'm afraid.
RJ Ochoa, the Morning Huddle. Catch him every weekday morning from 6 to 10 with Rob Thompson. Before I let you go, Dak Prescott, we've talked ad nauseum about the potential of an extension and where they stand with that. Now, they didn't quite restructure his deal, but they did move some money around, adding a void year. What potentially did that do for them other than give them the flexibility to possibly maybe sign their draft class and Rico Dowdle? And do you take that as a sign of that extension is coming, just not on the timeline that helps them?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this happened the way it did, because it requires Dak's consent, I do think is a positive thing. It shows that there's some playing ball happening between both parties, which you certainly want to see in the middle of contract negotiations like this. So that's a positive thing. But I think the most prominent takeaway should be for all the homers out there that are like, oh, what do you expect them to do? They don't have any salary cap space. They literally just proved to you that at any moment in time, they can generate salary cap space. At any moment in time they want, they can, with a flick of a pen, create salary cap space to sign this person or that person. So do not be the fool who lets them pull the wool over your eyes and say and whine and complain that they are just so stuck, that they are really up against it, that they're working against the cap. That is not true. So they don't realize that the common fan is a lot smarter than they used to be because of the access to information and data that we all have nowadays. But that is something that should not be lost in the middle of all this. But I do think, once again, it's notable that Dak obviously had a bit of an extension of an olive branch.
RJ, my friend, thank you very much. Listen to him and Rob Thompson every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on the Morning Huddle right here on San Antonio Sports Star. RJ, it's always a pleasure catching up with you.
Go Colorado State.
That was mean. That was a shot on the way out the door. RJ Ochoa and his shot joined us via the Buyers Barricades guest line. They provide traffic control and rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. Coming up next, the Texans, they just added another former top 10 pick in the secondary. We'll discuss that and the Shohei Ohtani situation getting a little bit sticky. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Yes, the tournament continues. How are your brackets? Are they busted? Or am I going to be singing some Elvis-like One Shining Moment tunes next week?
Plus, the Spurs are back in action. Can they refine their winning ways? And can Wemby continue his Defensive Player of the Year prowess? We'll get into it starting at 6.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets to bust wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game... Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
When it comes to beautiful lawns, nothing cuts like a Gravely zero-turn mower. And there's nothing like Gravely's Mow the Distance sales event starting the 27th. Save up to 25% with special financing available. Only at your local Gravely dealer.
Mark your calendars this coming Monday, March 25th. Join the Blitz at 90 Proof Bar and Grill for the official golf tournament after party. Don't miss out on the fun. Swing by, relax, and let the good times roll. See you at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
Wow, I'm a morning person.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I should not use a chatbot to rate my wedding vows.
This is your official invite to Mattress Firm's Friends and Family Sale. Save up to $700 with the Friends and Family discount. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. See a lower price? We'll match it. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store website for details.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives.
Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, and move again, pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Back into Extra Innings with Pleasure, live on location, as you can see, if you are watching via our YouTube stream. We're at the Twin Peaks DeZavala as we get you ready for all the mayhem that is ensuing here in March. And the Texas Longhorns have actually started to pull away a little bit from Colorado State early in this ball game. It was 11-2, 8-2 early. The Longhorns have gone on a run. They are up 27-11 over Colorado State right now going into the half. And then coming up later, Texas Tech will take on NC State. Of course, the NCAA tournament and all of its glory is over on our sister station, San Antonio's ESPN 1250. Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me this evening as the Houston Texans have made another move today, signing yet another former top 10 pick from the 2020 draft class. That gives them 3 top 10 picks in their secondary right now. Of course, they've got C.J. Henderson, who they just signed, who was a 9th overall pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2020. They signed earlier Jeff Okudah to a 1-year deal. That was the 3rd overall pick of that 2020 draft class. And, of course, they have their own draft pick, 2022, 3rd overall pick, Derek Stingley Jr. So they have added bodies, and a couple of them are reclamation projects, you could say. Now, Jeff Okudah struggled with injuries through the first part of his career, really started to come on during the season with Atlanta, and I think there's promise there. C.J. Henderson, lackluster in Jacksonville, traded to Carolina, spent the last 2.5 years with the Panthers, and it gives them talent. And D'Amico Ryans loves to be able to coach up talent. But it also tells you that they're filling a lot of holes. They signed Mario Edwards the other day. They added Danico Autry. They've re-signed Khalil Davis. They added Daniil Hunter. Like, they have put in a lot into that defensive front. And Aziz Al-Shair out of Tennessee formerly played for D'Amico in San Francisco. So with all of this movement on the defensive side of the ball, and then, of course, Joe Mixon, it really kind of opens them up in the draft. I still think they need a defensive tackle. I think T'Vondre Sweat would be awesome if he is there at pick 42. And maybe that's who they're looking at, because Alabama and UT both had their pro day yesterday. And while Mike McCarthy was out at Alabama, I expected some of the Texans contingent to be out there, being that D'Amico is from Alabama, and the fact that Nick Caserio, Alabama quite frequently, John Mechie, Christian Harris. He is not shy, Henry To'oTo'o. They have an affinity for Alabama players, so I kind of expected some of the contingent to be there. It turns out Nick Caserio, D'Amico Ryans, Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator, and Ben McDaniels, the wide receivers coach, were all out at the University of Texas Pro Day. There are some notable names on both sides of the ball that they could be looking at whether it's 42 or their own pick in the second round or even the third round. Jordan Whittington is a really good receiver. There is a chance, just because of the depth of this draft, that you could see a Xavier Worthy slide into the second round. I think T'Vondre Sweat is probably a second rounder. Linebacker Jalen Ford is going to be a day 2-3 pick. So the Texans were putting in work over at the UT Pro Day. And from all intents and purposes, I heard Adonai Mitchell put on a show out there. People are talking about him as being a potential number one receiver for a team in the very near future. And it's something that I myself thought of him initially. The one like match for a player and a team that should scare everybody. If Xavier Worthy ends up in Kansas City, it's not going to be fair. That's just going to be a cheat code, because we know the Chiefs love their smaller, faster wide receivers. Of course, Tyreek Hill is the focal point, but they drafted Mecole Hardman, who was blazed an insane 40 time. They drafted they traded for Kadarius Toney, another smaller receiver that's fast. They just signed Hollywood Brown. Like, they have a type when it comes to receiver. That type is very Xavier Worthy-ish, and Xavier Worthy could be one of the better receivers to ever fit that mold for Kansas City, not named Tyreek Hill, who is an absolute freak of nature. I'm just saying, watch out for that, NFL, because I could see that being an insane possibility. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Coming up next, there is a whirlwind of a story coming out of Major League Baseball and what it could mean for not just the sport, the players involved, but just all of pro sports in general. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. We are live out at the Twin Peaks DeZavala location right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and SASportsStar.com.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Ancira Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy.
Here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks today and tomorrow. Join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Today, we're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at DeZavala. And then tomorrow, we'll be doing it again live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks Live Oak.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. This Shohei Ohtani story is getting crazy. Now, his interpreter, who was fired, it was initially reported as a massive theft with questions surrounding $4.5 million in wire transfers sent from Ohtani's bank account to a bookmaking operation under federal investigation. MLB said that he wasn't the target of the investigation, and this is all surrounding his interpreter. But the stories have changed over the last 24 hours, and this massive red flag to the rest of sports, because Shohei Ohtani is the biggest name in that sport. He just signed, as I predicted, a $700 million contract. I told you, he's the best pitcher. He's a Cy Young pitcher. He's the best hitter. What are both of those positions getting played? He's both of them. Combine it. That's what he's going to get. He did. But by saying he's not a gambler, this, that, and the other, the line is being blurred between sports and gambling, in a sense, with the openness of leagues' cooperation with it. And I say it's being blurred because remember the line shift of that UTSA bowl game earlier this year? You remember Raptors head coach Darko Rajovic, Rudy Gobert earlier this year? JB Bickerstaff is now firing off on them and talking about how they've crossed the line, and that a bookmaker called his personal cell phone and called him. If they're doing that for the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, think of what other assistants on the staff not making great money might be getting phone calls, might be getting coerced into doing things. This is a very thin line that I think Major League Baseball is going to have to take the lead on in some way, shape, or fashion. You can't protect Shohei because he's your greatest player. Remember, there was a question with Michael Jordan and why he really retired back in the day after the first three-peat. And some people still believe to this day that it was a stern imposed suspension. All I'm saying is the line is getting blurry. You have to be careful. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, live at Twin Peaks DeZavala. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle. Yes, the tournament continues. How are you?